360.
Every once in a while, you meet someone who ends up changing your life forever. That's the way it was for Jamie Moyer. Jamie Moyer, as you know, is the oldest active player in Major League Baseball. His wife, Karen Moyer, happens to be the daughter of Digger Phelps. Back in 1998, he met a young girl named Erin Metcalf. And though Jamie and Erin only knew each other for 2 years, he wanted to do something in her name that would help other kids. Summer is the time for camps, and we went camping with Jamie Moyer and his family.
This camp looks like any other. But it's not. It's a place that brings light to a child's darkness.
My mom died 5 years ago from cancer. The thing I miss most about her is the smile on her face.
My mom and dad died because we all fell asleep in the car, and I was the only one wearing my seatbelt, and I was the only one that survived.
On March 1st, I lost my father, and he was my best friend, but I couldn't stand to see him drunk all the time.
I feel lonely because I have nobody to play with. I really miss him because he used to be my best friend and really funny. Really funny.
They are children dealing with pain and loss. He is a major league pitcher hoping to help.
In some of their eyes you can see some of the anger, some of the regret, some of the uncertainty. And there's a huge sadness knowing why the campers are there.
Philadelphia Phillies pitcher Jamie Moyer has won 267 games in 24 major league seasons. He's been an all-star and a World Series champion. He's the oldest pitcher in the history of the game to throw a shutout.
The ageless wonder, Jamie Moyer.
But Moyer says his most meaningful accomplishment is Camp Erin. In 2002, he and his wife Karen established what is now the largest network of bereavement camps for children in the nation. Their purpose: that no child should have to mourn the loss of a loved one alone.
He always called me a star.
Cool. Well, that's very nice of you to think of your father that way.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool that you remember that he called you a star.
Yeah.
As children, they're just learning about these situations and how do they get through these things. Well, Camp Erin allows them to move forward in their lives.
The inspiration for the camps dates back to 1998, when the Moyers met a teenager named Erin Metcalf.
Erin was a vibrant kid. She played a lot of softball and basketball. She was full of energy.
Nice job.
In the fall of 1997, she was telling her mom that she felt nauseous and uncomfortable, and it kept getting a little bit worse and worse.
We did an ultrasound, and that was when we learned that her liver was loaded with tumors. The largest one was about 22 centimeters, about the size of a softball.
What did you think when you heard that?
It was devastating.
Without a liver transplant, doctors told the Metcalfs in January of 1998 that 15-year-old Erin had just months to live. That March, Erin was granted a Make-A-Wish trip to Arizona.
She was a big Mariner fan, so part of her wish was to come to spring training. We met Erin and her parents and sisters, and we actually had dinner that evening, and we really hit it off.
She gave you strength. She gave you faith if you didn't have it, and if you had it, it became deeper.
At the end of the evening, Karen came up to us and said, "We won't forget you. You'll be our friends forever."
What was it about her that touched you?
I think just to see her willingness to share with our children, with other children. There was something about her that she exuded happiness and love.
Despite a successful liver transplant 5 months after meeting the Moyers, Erin's cancer returned and spread to her spine. There was little more doctors could do.
I said, honey, how do you want us to remember you? And that was when she said, Mom, I want you to just keep working to help kids that are in bad situations, kids like me, kids who have been through a lot.
On June 16, 2000, the Moyers learned that Erin Metcalf died. She was 17. A day after the funeral, Jamie put Erin's initials on the pitcher's mound and on his cleats during his game against the Orioles. He dedicated the victory to Erin. But the Moyers, who are now parents of 8 children of their own, had a bigger tribute planned for Erin.
Karen and I had come up with the idea of a bereavement camp, and her parents gave us their graces to use her name and to honor her and her life through this camp.
What I kept thinking about was Erin was so concerned about her sisters, and this is what Camp Erin does, is it helps kids who grieve the loss of a loved one.
The U.S. Census Bureau estimates that 3.5 million American children are grieving the death of an immediate family member. In fact, 1 out of 5 children will experience such a loss.
My name is Don Lawrence. My father had passed away. This is a picture of him toasting my birthday.
Many kids don't want to go to one-on-one counseling. It's too threatening. It's just too much in their face.
Skittles got a big fat pop.
But camps allow kids, because I think the fun aspect, to come without the fear of being totally overwhelmed by the pain.
What's your favorite color?
Camp Erin has provided support for 5,300 children ages 6 to 17. One of those is 15-year-old Jordan Cooper of St. Louis. Jordan says she could tell her dad David anything. He inspired her love of sports, especially gymnastics, and she says he always made her laugh.
I remember that my dad had this dance that he used to love to do, and my dad was a clean freak, and he started doing this dance like this, and he danced all over the kitchen like, the floors are clean, the floors are clean. It was so funny.
At a candle lighting ceremony at Camp Erin, Jordan spoke about the day this past March when she arrived at her father's house.
My father had been a severe alcoholic and had been drinking for a few months, so I kind of saw it covered. And I kept knocking and calling the phone and ringing the doorbell, and there was no answer. I called the police, and we saw someone lying on the floor, but I thought he might have just passed out, but there was a smell coming through, and I pretty much knew. I was trying to pretend it wasn't happening, and I didn't cry, but the moment I got home and I had to tell my little sister, the look on her face was so terrible. And that's when it really hit me. It wasn't that my dad had died, it was that she couldn't have a father.
Children like Jordan attend free 3-day weekend camps in one of 36 locations. Campers participate in professionally run counseling exercises, like a grief walk in Baltimore, poetry writing in Milwaukee, and in St. Louis, play throwing to release the painful emotions of losing a loved one. For Jordan, it was clay molding that brought a sense of sought-after peace.
When I first thought of the idea of sculpting myself, doing a back bend, and my dad supporting me, I realized that he still is there supporting me, because before I had been really, really mad at him for leaving, and I felt like he wasn't there anymore. But as I was making it, I was like, he is still there, and he is helping me through every day.
And we feel so honored to be able to create these camps and put them in cities around the country, in places that I've been able to play.
The Moyer Foundation has received over $1.2 million of support from the baseball community, including contributions from former teammates like Arthur Rhodes.
The door is slammed shut.
I donated a lot of times in this camp, and I heard about this camp for many years. I didn't imagine my youngest daughter was going to be in this camp.
My name is Faith Rhodes, and my brother passed away.
In December of 2008, 5-year-old Jordan Rhodes, Arthur's son and Faith's little brother, died of cancer that had spread to his brain. Arthur, an all-star relief pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds, traces his son's initials, JR, on the mound and blows a kiss before each appearance. He says 9-year-old Faith needed to find a way to cope with her grief.
When do you miss him the most?
When people start, like, talking about the loved ones, that's pretty much it. Or in the middle of the night, when I have dreams.
What do you dream about?
Me and him running in the park.
She's had a rough time. She didn't want to tell some of her friends about her brother. She was like me, she kept it quiet.
The doctors couldn't do anything. I just wanted to go in that room and give him a new ring, but I couldn't.
She changed a lot because she got the grief off her chest. And once she opened it up and started talking to the kids about Jordy, and she started feeling a lot better.
We can at least still have the loved ones in our heart, but move on without that grief. I care for you, you care for me, we care for each other. That's the pledge of our camp. And I actually do.
That's what Erin Metcalf wanted, to brighten the lives of as many children in darkness as she could. And with the help of Jamie and Karen Moyer, she has.
What do you think Erin's legacy has been?
The impact has been parents that say, my child was gone to me. They were a ghost, and now they're back. That's a big difference.
She's watching over us and the kids. And she's making sure that those kids grieve correctly and move forward in their lives and hopefully remember their loved ones in a positive way.
Still to come on E60.
History-making levels of water.
A deadly natural disaster. An extraordinary little leaguer and his act of courage.
The current was getting stronger, but I just remember Ishmael going by.
Then, hitching a ride at Green Bay Packers camp.
I think that Ronald Talley picked my bike because he liked the white walls on it.
But next, the most famous athlete you know nothing about. Meet Nacho.
I really think that I can make a difference in this arena.
Next.